When we were back in North Carolina dreaming and preparing for our Atlantic crossing, we would Google the Azores Archipelago and look at all of the incredible images that would pop up. I wanted so badly to see these amazing sights, to shiver in the cold water, taste the fruit, smell the crops, and feel the misty clouds drifting past the green peaks. Many of the images that inspired this trip can be found in Sao Miguel, the island that we're currently sailing to, and the last Azorean island that we'll get to visit before we set sail for the Mediterranean.
All right, well, Jordan just went down to sleep and I'm on my first night watch. We're doing something a little bit different tonight. Usually we do a 4-hour rotation. So Jordan's on watch for 4 hours while I sleep for 4 hours. And we're trying something new today. We're doing 6-hour night shifts. So far, I feel really good. I went down at 8 p.m. and now it's 2 a.m. So I got about 5.5 hours of sleep. Right now I feel super energetic. Just had a snack, made myself some tea. The stars are so bright. I've had a really, really well-rested and relaxing passage so far. Alright, good morning. Well, it's about 6:30, so about 4 hours and 30 minutes into my 6-hour watch. Feeling a little sleepy. Sun is coming up and I can see Sao Miguel on the horizon. We should be there in about 4 hours.
All right, good morning. And it is a beautiful morning. It's a little cloudy, but it's a cool perspective of Sao Miguel. Last night we tried 6 on, 6 off, and we were kind of inspired by the Atlantic crossing when we had crew on board, and so we were able to get like a solid 8 hours of sleep at a time, and we realized how much better that was. And we also started to realize that we are both now kind of competent enough with the boat where like we can be on watch for a long time and it doesn't really bother us that much. There's something about 5.5 hours where I would trust myself to operate heavy machinery under these circumstances. Alright, so we're approaching Ponta Delgada, and it's weird to like be back in civilization, you know? This doesn't feel like those small towns that we've been visiting. Definitely gonna be missing little village.
Pretty far from the left side.
Yeah, I gotcha.
What do you think?
I think it's beautiful and delicious. Sao Miguel, also known as Ilha Verde or the Green Island, is the largest and most populated island in the Azores Archipelago, with around 140,000 inhabitants, a third of whom live in Ponta Delgada, the archipelago's largest city, and where we'll be staying for the next week or so. But once you get outside the city, the island has a ton of natural beauty. It's just insane how pretty this place is. And our main objective while staying here is to explore as much of this green island as possible. Next, we visited the Goriana Tea Plantation and Factory. Goriana Tea is Europe's oldest and only remaining tea plantation and has been family owned and operated since 1883. The tea is made without the use of herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, or preservatives. This is due to the fact that the plant's natural plagues do not survive in the island's unique climate. The methods of producing the tea have not changed since the plantation began in the 1800s, and the Marshall's machinery date back to the same time period. Walking around the factory felt like I was in a museum for 19th century manufacturing. But the fact that this is still a functioning business that produces about 33 tons of tea every year is pretty incredible.
So this is the green tea. Wow, that's very smooth, very light, and also pretty fruity. I like it a lot. It is a cool factory because you can see every single process. You can see the workers manually doing everything. There's tea leaves and tea dust everywhere. This is not what I was expecting at all.
Now, although Sao Miguel is a volcanic island and could potentially blow at any moment, there are some perks to being on top of an ocean of lava.
It's hot.
For example, these natural hot springs pump out hot water from deep inside the earth, creating what is effectively a natural hot tub, which sounds too good to be true, and if you ask me, kind of is. I'm actually like half really enjoying this and half super grossed out because there's nothing that kills bacteria, and there's like a bazillion people that come through here every day. A part of me is just constantly cringing. I'm like,
Yeah, it is kind of crazy though, because my favorite thing in the world is natural hot springs. Just leave it to our timing to come to like one of the most beautiful islands in the world with natural hot springs. And I'm pregnant.
Because she likes hot springs so much, Desiree's spirit animal is those, Japanese hot spring monkeys or something?
That's what I call them.
Japanese hot tub monkeys, and they like hang out in hot springs during the winter.
All right, well, today I had to bust out our medical kit because a couple days ago we noticed that Oso was limping. So we took him to a vet here in Ponta Delgada, and turns out he's got an internal infection. I think maybe something got stuck in his paw. So now we have to kind of like drain his wound twice a day. So I'm getting my lab bench set up. I'm gonna bring in the patient. He's so cute and sad. How are you doing today? Oh, that's a lot of pus. All right, well, that was probably more painful for me than it was for Oso.
Yeah, I think so.
Got 3 more days of pus squeezing, and hopefully he'll be doing better. He's also on antibiotics and anti-inflammatories.
It's fine.
Whoa. She looks like a fish.
Yeah.
She's a bit shy right now. She's covering her face with her
Oh my
hands.
god, that's crazy. Look, she's like, don't look at me.
Basically,
I
yeah.
haven't put my makeup on today.
crazy.
She has 444 grams. It's a good weight for 21 weeks. It's 100% a girl. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Here's the nose.
Oh yeah, whoa. In her mouth. Oh my gosh. Wow, she moves a lot.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Everything is good.
All right.
Yay.
Good job, buddy.
I'm so worried.
What do they got here, buddy?
This is what you call natural drainage. The river of love.
I think it is the opposite of natural drainage.
Yeah.
It is a man-made aqueduct.
This is a man-made aqueduct.
Yeah, I guess they use it for irrigation. Pretty cool.
I'm a little sleep deprived though because Oso's little paw has been getting fatter and fatter and more swollen.
And you're worried.
I'm worried about him, and I re-bandaged him last night once, and then I have to pet him so he doesn't lick himself. And now he's not here with us, and I feel like we're cheating on him.
He's resting. He just needs to rest. He's on antibiotics.
Hey, see?
Taste it. Is it good?
It's good. Tastes like honey.
What do you think of the waterfall there, pretty lady?
Really pretty. It's a little chilly,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it in
Yeah.
today. I will admire from afar.
You don't think about it, but the waterfall water is really cold. So like just hitting my head like that, my head was just hurting because it was so cold.
I'm not convinced, bud. You didn't really sell that. I think I'm gonna stay right here on land.
Along with tea, Sao Miguel is known for producing another plant that you probably wouldn't guess: pineapples.
In the 19th century, the main production in the Azores was the orange production. Okay, so the English back then, they had a great influence in the North Atlantic. So they fermented us to produce something that would provide vitamin C for the ships that would cross the Atlantic Ocean. We started producing in the 18th century orange. Three things happened in the 19th century that provoked the decline of the production of the orange. First of all, we got a disease. The second thing that happened was the ships started to get steam engines, so they wouldn't have the need of stopping here. And the third thing was the Spanish. They started producing orange in Sevilla, so it was a competition that we could not afford. We had to adapt to what we have here. So we need to produce them inside greenhouses. First of all, it's a tropical plant. Although our weather is humid, we don't obtain the same temperature as a tropical weather. Second reason, and very important, is that we need to protect the plant at this latitude. If it gets direct sunlight, the angle of the light that gets here damages the plant. That's the reason why we paint the greenhouses white. So we will reflect some of the light that gets here. That's the reason why we cut the leaves of our plants. If you don't cut the leaves, it will close on the center. By cutting the leaves, we open more the leaves, so we will get a better radius for catching light. So we are diminishing the light and trying to catch some light. We have here an exhibit of the full process of the production. So it's what we've been doing since the 19th century. We harvest the pineapple, take out the plant, we cut the leaves and the stem, and we stay with the roots. We take out the leaves, and by cutting the leaves, as you can see, there's the bottom of one. This is like this.
Yeah, I got
And then we plant like this, and it will develop sprouts coming up from here. These sprouts will develop their own roots, so they are clones of the plants. The reason why we only have one variety here in Sao Miguel is because we've been cloning the same plants from the 19th century. The last stage that is on these greenhouses, a year has passed. We use cans like this. We put them throughout the greenhouse. We fill them with vegetable material. We burn that vegetable material, and by burning, it will fill up the greenhouse with smoke, and the smoke will carry ethylene. That's a hormone that vegetable material has, that the plant absorbs and develops their reproductive system, the flower.
Thank you so much, man.
I learned so much.
Desiree,
Thank you very much. Oh, wow. And what is this?
Jam, pineapple, in the liquor pineapple.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
Holy moly.
How pretty that is. Wow.
Cheers, buddy. To pineapples.
When you do a Google search of the Azores, the most common image that you'll find is of this viewpoint overlooking Set Ciudades. And it was this image that first planted in our minds the idea of possibly sailing across the Atlantic. And now, 2,000 miles later, all I can say is how happy I am that we made this trip.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this week's episode. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to thank some of our newest patrons. So to our newest deckhand level patrons, thank you so much. Matthew Palmier, Jen McAdams, Timothy Burns, Roland Wyman, Noel Dominy, Alfredo Malagone, Gustavo Gamboa, Gretchen Keeler, Tony Eisenhower, Mitchell DeShields, Thomas Burke, Debbie Eric, Chet Forchinsky, Brian and Brandy Njayan, and Willis Roadbush. So to our patrons who've been with us from the very beginning, or to our newest patrons, thank you so much for all of your love, encouragement, and support. Without it, we wouldn't be able to make these videos. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.